Hello students, in this video we are going to cover chapter 14 of class 6 and this is going to be our last chapter, okay? The name of the chapter is economic activities around us, okay? So in the previous chapter we studied the difference in between economic and non-economic activities and studied about those, okay? And in this chapter we are going to dive deeper into this chapter and we are going to study more about economic activities, okay? Because this is very important for any country, okay? So what is the synopsis of this chapter? We are going to study about the classification of these economic sectors and we are going to study about interdependence among sectors, okay? That means any sector cannot work independently, they are anyhow dependent on each other, okay? So let's start with this intro of the chapter, okay? And the first topic we have the classifications of economic activities into economic sectors, okay? So let's start the chapter. Okay, so first we have primary sector, okay? So the primary sector is based on utilization of natural resources, okay? So anything which you build, what they are getting from these resources, okay? So anything which if you have to build, what you do, first of all you collect the resources, then you made something and then you sell those, okay? So that same thing you can apply here also. First, where you the raw materials actually get, so they get from primary sectors, okay? So all the primary, secondary and tertiary, all the sectors are dependent on each other, okay? Without the products they cannot manufacture that, and without the manufactured final product we cannot sell that product, okay? That means first you need to understand that primary sectors, what does so it mainly depends on the nature, okay? That means the natural resources which are found, they come from primary sector, okay? So people engaged in this sector rely on nature to earn their livelihood, okay? For example, farmers, okay? Now, example of primary sectors are agriculture, fishing, farming, forestry, rearing livestock. So these are the main examples, okay? Agriculture, you are growing crops for wheat, rice, vegetables, and these act as a raw material for secondary sector, okay? So this also includes horticulture, which involves the cultivation of fruits and plants, okay? So for that you need wheat, rice, and vegetables, and from where we get this from primary sectors, okay? Through agriculture. Next we have fishing, catching fish and other seafood from oceans, rivers, lakes for consumption and trade, okay? Through fishing we get these kind of resources, and for mining we get we extract minerals, coals, metals like iron and coals from the earth, okay? So all these things are important for us to make products from these, okay? And that's why primary sector is very important, okay? And in India mostly people are dependent on agriculture. However, this ratio is decreasing day by day, but still earlier it was very high and now it was depleted a bit, okay? Now the primary sector is essential as it provides the raw materials required for other sectors, okay? And suppose if you have to make for example, if you have to sell bags, okay? So first of all you need the items to manufacture a bag, okay? Then you would make a bag, and after making the bag you would sell that, okay? So first of all you are collecting the raw materials to prepare your bag, okay? Okay, so we have studied about primary sector, that primary sector provides us raw material to do any further step for anything, okay? Next we have secondary sectors, okay? Secondary sector is a processes raw material, okay? Now you have collected the materials to make the bag, okay? And now you're manufacturing to make a bag, okay? Still you would have items, okay? And now you're preparing a bag, okay? So for that where raw materials manufacturers, so the manufacturers and secondary sector, okay? They are obtained from the primary sector and converts them into finished or semi-finished good, okay? Finished or semi-finished good, okay? It cannot be complete always, okay? You would understand how this sector plays a pivotal role in adding value to natural resources, okay? We studied in the previous chapter about the adding value, okay? Adding value help us to increase the price of final product, okay? And this is how a person gain profit, okay? And creates product for consumption and use. Examples of secondary activities are manufacturing, construction and utilities, okay? Let's study all those one by one. Converting wheat into flour, okay? This is an example that which is more expensive, wheat or flour? Definitely flour, okay? So you have converted wheat into flour and now this is available to your surrounding more, okay? Cotton into fabric. Now cotton is prepared by primary sector and now they have done in the form of fabric through secondary sectors, okay? These manufacturing is a kind. Construction is also a part of secondary sector, like building infrastructure such as houses, schools, bridges and schools, okay? Now to construct all these, what you require raw materials which you get from primary sector, and now finally you have those resources and now you have constructed all these, okay? So without primary sector the secondary sector cannot do anything, and now secondary sector is also important to increase the overall economic development of country, Okay, next we have utilities, so providing essential services like electricity, gas, and water supply to industries and households. This is also important when you have resources. Again, primary sector involvement. And now, to make it more valuable, secondary sector is also equally important. Okay, so the secondary sector bridges the gap between the raw material for the primary and the consumer of finished product, creating job opportunities and contributing to industrial growth. Okay, so these are very important things which you are studying. Next, we have tertiary sector. Okay, this is the king of primary and secondary sector. Okay, we can say this. The tertiary sector, which is also known as service sector. Now you have something clicked in your mind. It's service sector. That means now you are selling your product. Okay, finally you have prepared your bag, you have manufactured your bag, and now you are selling your products. Okay, it supports the primary and secondary sector. Okay, so primary sector helping secondary sector, also tertiary sector directly sometimes. Okay, so when if your product is prepared, now how would you sell that if tertiary sector would not available? Okay, so this is also very, very important. Now, so it supports primary and secondary sector by providing essential services. Okay, so this sector help us to provide services, help us to reach out the customers. Okay, so these services facilitate the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and ensure the smooth functioning of the economy. Clear? Here is an example: services of restaurant. Okay, now your final food has prepared. Now this person is helping us to is providing a service to the person who actually need this. Okay, so this person is ruling as a tertiary sector. Okay, service at airports. Okay, so these are examples of your sectors. Next, we have examples of tertiary activities. Okay, for example, transportation, moving goods and people using trucks, trains, ships, and airplanes. I hope you are aware about this, that with the help of these vehicles we transport goods from one place to another. Okay, so through transportation, okay, we can use tertiary sector. Next, we have trade, selling products in wholesale or retail market and in commercial platforms. Okay, that means you go market. Okay, that means you go market and buy the products. Okay, so when in a market people are selling the products, they are doing a tertiary sector activity. Clear? Healthcare, providing medical treatment and preventive care through hospitals, clinics, and pharmacies. Okay, this is also an example of tertiary sector. So I'm sure you would have understand that all the major activities which are earning the maximum money are from tertiary sector. Okay, and that's why tertiary sector are more rich as compared to primary and secondary sectors. Clear? Next, we have interdependence among sectors. Okay, from the beginning of the chapter, I am trying to explain you that all the sectors are independent of each other. Okay, so we will not spend much time on this topic. Okay, we are directly jumping onto the example of this. Okay, Amul Dairy Corporation. Okay, the story of Amul, which is Anand Nihal Union Limited, a dairy cooperative in Anand, Gujarat, showcases the interdependence of three sectors. Okay, farmers milk their cows. Okay, farmers milk their cows and supply raw milk to the cooperatives. Okay, this is a primary sector that finally you have the ability of milk. Okay, secondary sector, Amul processes this milk into products like butter, cheese, milk powder in factories. Now, which is more expensive, milk or cheese, butter? Which is more expensive? Definitely secondary sector products. Okay, so now this milk is converted into these products. Okay, this is the work of secondary sector. Next, we have tertiary sector. So these processed products are transported and distributed across India and internationally through retail shops, supermarkets, and online platforms. Okay, now this butter, cheese products are selling internationally to the people. Okay, now who is earning more money? Definitely the people who are working in tertiary sector, because they are earning online because they are earning internationally and dealing with the international clients. Okay, so that means all the sectors are independent of each other. Without primary sector, tertiary sector is nothing. Okay, but where is more demand is tertiary sector more than secondary and then primary. Okay, and this is also another example of this. Okay, so without the raw materials from the primary sector, factories in the secondary sector cannot produce goods, whatever I have mentioned. Similarly, without transportation and retail services in the tertiary sector, these goods without not reach consumers. Okay, so without tertiary sector also, if the service was not available as much, then primary sector would also not grow that much. Clear? Now, daily cooperatives from farm to plate. In Gujarat, farmers start their day milking their cows. Okay, the cows are very important to them and the milk helps support their families. These farmers sell their milk to a nearby dairy and at the end month they got paid based on how much and how good the milk is. Clear? So this is a way how they are earning. But things were very different 50 years ago. Life before Amul. Years ago, farmers had to walk or ride bicycles to nearby villages to sell their milk. Since milk spoils quickly, they had to sell it fast. They depended on middlemen who bought milk at low prices and sold it in the market. The farmers did not always get paid fairly. Okay, that means life before Amul was how? First, it was difficult to carry milk for so long. Okay, so they needed to supply it quickly. Okay, apart from this, people they are dependent on the middle person who will buy product from them. Okay, it is obvious to understand. Now let's see about the life after Amul. Okay, the life with the start of Amul. So the farmers shared their problems with Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, a well-known leader. He suggested they work together and form a cooperative. This way, they would not have to depend on middlemen. In 1946, an Amul was formed. Okay, so Tribhuvan Das Patel and Dr. Varghese Kuri, led to the cooperatives and many farmers joined. They started managing their own milk collection, processing and selling. By working together, the farmers earned more money and became self-sufficient. Okay, so this was the condition, and with the help of leaders, they started collecting their own products. Okay, and sell them. Okay, this is how they had a huge profit. Okay. Now, how Amul actually grew. So Amul grew quickly. They produced so much milk that they started making other products like butter, milk, and milk powder. Okay, they built a factory in Anand to keep up with the demand. Okay, so how the service sector works? So primary sector, the farmers milk their cow, which is the primary sector. Okay, that means you are getting milk from with the help of nature, with the help of natural resource. That is a cow. You are getting milk from cow. Okay, and now in secondary sector, this milk is turned into product like butter, cheese, and factories. We have already seen this example previously. Tertiary sector is what did Amul transport the products by trucks, trains, planes, and ships, sell them in stores across India. Okay, so this is how this economy actually works. Today, Amul makes a wide range of dairy products and factories. I'm sure you would have seen some ads and all. These products are sold in stores all over the country and even exported to other countries. Okay, so this Amul is now very popular now, and now you have understood that how it was actually started. Okay, now what is a cooperative? A cooperative is a group of people who work together to achieve something they could not do alone. Okay, for example, farmers might form a cooperative to sell their milk directly to stores. Okay, this way they don't have to deal with middleman and can earn a fair price for their milk. By working together, they can make more money and have more control over what they produce. Okay, so cooperatives, what cooperatives help? Cooperatives helps by is a group of people who work together to achieve something they could not do alone. Okay, that means alone is not as much possible. By making a cooperative, by making a group, you can do that work much better. Okay, for example, in this, they are not, these milk person were not reaching the middleman directly. What they're doing, they were going to the stores directly, and through this they were earning more as compared to middlemen. Okay, now this helped common peoples more and able to earn more profit. Okay, now what is pasteurization? Let's study. So pasteurization is a method used to make milk and other liquids safe to drink. Okay, that means that milk and liquid products have germs and bacteria. To make it available for common people with free germs and bacteria, this method is called pasteurization. Okay, it involves heating the liquid. Okay, so I'm sure you know that when you rise the temperature, bacteria died automatically. Okay, at high temperature for short time and then cooling it quickly, this process kills harmful bacteria and make the milk safe to consume. Okay, I repeat, heating the liquid to a high temperature for a short time and then cooling it quickly. This is a method of pasteurization, and what is the purpose of it? To kill the harmful bacteria and make it available for common people. Clear? Now, impact of Amul model. Okay, so Amul has empowered farmers, okay, especially women, providing financial stability and contributing to rural development. Amul has done a tremendous role. It has driven India's white revolution. Okay, I'm sure you know about this revolution, making the country a global leader in milk production while creating jobs across all sectors. Okay, so you can see this diagram. Okay, this will help you to understand the Amul model. Okay, so establishment of directly linkage between milk producers and consumers, eliminating middleman. Okay, so this Amul model is working in three sectors. First of all, link between milk producers and consumers by eliminating middleman. Okay, they are consuming the product, now they are processing and marketing, and now they are professional management. Okay, this is how this work actually done. Okay, first, milk produced through primary sector, villagers dairy cooperatives. Okay, these are the person, district milk cooperatives union. Okay, and then state cooperatives milk marketing federation, and the through we get consumer. Okay, that means three sectors are working here. Primary sector are working here, secondary sectors are working. Okay, here tertiary sector, that means not directly secondary sector are working here. They are providing this thing to district milk cooperative UN. Okay, so you can say this is secondary sector. Now state cooperatives are marketing this, so this is tertiary sector. Okay, so with this your chapter completes, and your all the chapters of this book completes. Okay, I am sure you would understand about the interdependence of all these three sectors and how important they are for our economic of our country. Okay, so here our chapter completes. I hope you understood the chapter. Thank you.